welcome back to your Resident Girl channel. Alright, I'm so excited to be doing this. So, it's the beginning of the year, so I thought I'd talk about some of my favorite shows that I watched last year. Some of them, they actually came out last year, and then some of them I discovered, just found them, just like, going through that, so I thought I'd talk about them, see if you guys wanted to join in on the fandom for these shows, and then we'll just go from there. Alright, so first show I actually really want to talk about is Princess Wei Young. You guys have no idea how underrated this show is. Not a lot of people talk about this show, which is astounding to me. It's literally Chinese Game of Thrones. It's about this empress who, like, during the dynasty era of China, like, she goes through all these obstacles. It's loosely based on her real life story, and loosely is very, like, you can do your research and you can see, like, certain details are accurate, certain things are not. She goes through, like, all these different types of obstacles that she has to do, kind of like her family kind of pushing back, her non-family pushing her back as well. It's like, it's a really complicated story. There's a love story involved. It's technically like a Chinese soap opera, but it's so good because it's not just like, there's so much about, like, the power dynamics, that's why I equivalated to Chinese Game of Thrones. It's really well done, and it doesn't have a crap ending like real Game of Thrones. I really like that, and that because I was kind of watching like K-dramas, J-dramas, like, those type of things. And because technically it's in that, like, historical drama kind of romancy vibe, it led me into Crash Landing Into You. Crash Landing Into You or On You. I'm gonna put the correct title, I promise. It's pretty much about a South Korean and North Korean falling in love. It's based kind of on the political, like, climate that's going on. If you've ever watched Stairway to Heaven, is it the K-drama? Yes, I'm pretty sure it's a K-drama. The K-drama. Again, here's the picture. In Spanish, it's called Escalera al Cielo. I think it did a better market in the Latin market. That's why, like, maybe you guys watched it that way. I watched it with the Spanish translation. I loved it. And so the best part is that they actually reference this particular telenovela a lot. I mean, soap opera. I mean, same thing. They reference it a lot. And so it was beautiful to just kind of have that integrated into the show, like a soap opera, a K-drama that I originally loved, going to this new K-drama that I felt completely in love. The depth and, like, the intricate storytelling of both Crash Landing Into You as well as Princess Wei Young is so beautiful. It immerses you in the world, even if you don't fully understand the political climate that's going on in North versus South Korea. You still understand it enough where, like, again, it's so well that I highly recommend it. And again, especially if you're, like, looking kind of for, like, that romancy vibe with a little bit more detail. Like, again, they're so well done. This is not a TV show. This is like a virtual novel that they have. It's called Under the Oak Tree. They've made it into, I'm gonna say this wrong and I apologize, a manhwa. Originally, like, that's how it came up as a TikTok ad for me. And so I read it first as, like, the illustrated version, and then I went to the novel. The novel is translated in English. It's not the official translation, but it's really accurate. It follows the story. So again, if you're kind of into that romancy thing and just want another outlet to get that romance in a really well developed story, and, like, the world is big, I highly recommend this as well. Definitely, I'm even gonna, like, tell you, like, what the link is here so you guys can check it out, especially the novel. I want you guys to read the novel more than the manhwa, because the novel, well, first of all, you get, like, it continues on way past the manhwa, and second of all, there's just so much going on in the novel that I'm like, I need someone to talk about it. That's why. So sorry for the for the slight deviation. All right. After that, I also watched Medici. It has a lot of amazing British actors that you really like. It has King Arthur from Merlin. We have, we have, what's his son's name? Rob Stock. Okay, it's gonna bother me. We have Rob Stock in there. I really kind of started watching this show mostly because I wanted to know more about Catherine de Medici. If you guys watch Reign, there's hinted a lot about her past and kind of what happened, and this follows the Medici family. And I thought we were gonna get to Catherine de Medici, but no, they stopped with Quasimo de Medici, and they're like, and they've already announced that they're not gonna be continuing the series, which pisses me off because I'm like, y'all aren't even gonna do Catherine de Medici? Like, what? One of the most influential queens of France? Like, that we're not... Okay, great. So, if somehow you know, or someone you know is in the media world, can you tell them we need Catherine de Medici story told like really well done, not just via Rain and not just so. But anyway, if you kind of like those historical stories that just follow history, again, it's loosely based on history. A lot of the stuff is accurate, but again, it's heightened for TV drama, so keep that in mind. But I really did enjoy it. Again, this show came out prior to 2021. All the shows that I'm telling you about right now came out prior to 2021. I just recently discovered them, or like came upon them, or had like they've been in my watch list for a hot minute, and I'm like, I'm in a pandemic. What else can I do? So I really did enjoy those shows. What else did I had to make a list. Okay, so another show which is more of like a documentary type of thing are the They Made Us shows. So there's one about the toys that made us and the movies that made us. It's on Netflix. I'll also be adding like where you can find these shows as well. It's on Netflix. So the movies that made us, they follow like beloved movies that you like, probably like around the 90s, 80s. Mostly like 80s, 90s, maybe early 2000s movies that you like. They follow along how they were made, kind of like, so like even Home Alone, how it was made and how it was developed. It's so interesting because it came down to like two companies fighting over the rights for a little bit. They didn't expect it to be such a success as it was. Turned out amazing. What was another? Oh, Coming to America. They do how they made Coming to America, which you're like fascinated by because you're like, I didn't know that that's how they did Coming to America, considering like all the details that go in. I didn't know that Paula Abdul did the choreography for like that iconic dance at the beginning of the movie. I personally love Coming to America. I cannot shut up about Coming to America, so if you guys want me to, I can do a deep dive on Coming to America. It's like the best immigrant movie out there, and coming as an immigrant, well, you can relate to so much. It's definitely my favorite. Moving on. So then, so that's just the movies, and then there are the toys that made us. So they talk about the Power Rangers, talk about Barbie, like the history of Barbie. So it's just really cool to like, and I think they do Lego as well. They do Lego as well, and it's so cool just to hear all the details about how these like toys slash movies came to be, how they grew, how they developed, how it become these huge franchises that now the whole world knows, and it's just a beautiful way to just know more about. Again, I'm one of those people that just likes to know how things are made and how like those specific things that I'm passionate about. So it's really interesting to me, and I think, and it's kind of like very nerdy as well. So I think you guys will like it if you like doing that IMDb deep dive, about movies, about anything. The Movies That Made Us is for you. It's lovely. All right, now the final kind of show that has nothing to do with 2021 is Titans. Actually, that's a lie. It does kind of have to do with 2021 because did they release? I think they're either going to release the next season soon or they just released the third season, something like that. Anyways, in my head, to be honest, because the way they were promoting it in 2021, they made it seem like Titans was like this new show. It's on HBO Max. It follows the Teen Titans, essentially. Just called Titans, but let's be real here. It's a real life Teen Titans. They're promoting it as if there was like this brand new show for DC, trying to compete with Marvel, but no, it's been on for a hot minute, and I just started getting into it, so I'm still not caught up, so no spoilers, but it's just really interesting, especially if you like the DC universe and are tired of Marvel monopolizing everything. This would be a great way, especially also if you just want to get more familiarized with other superheroes, with other powers, and just, again, a different perspective, a little bit of a darker perspective for things. So so far, I've watched the first 3 episodes of Titans. I'm going to give it like a solid 7 out of 10. I think I still need to spend more time developing, see if I like it. It doesn't, what's weird? I grew up with the CW shows, so I watched like Smallville and Supernatural, so it's really weird for me to kind of see Titans because it doesn't have that, like, I don't know, kind of like familiarity that I had with like CW. CW shows have like a certain tone and a certain structure that they follow that, I don't know, it feels so welcoming to you versus this. It's a little bit more dark, it's a little bit more gloomy. Just the storytelling is very different. Like, it's a little jarring for me, especially when, again, in my head, Smallville is so prevalent, which like Smallville was a very kind of, it can get dark. I'm not gonna lie. It does get dark, but it's also very hopeful versus Titans is not. So it's a little weird. So that's why I give it a 7 out of 10. I think I just need to follow more into the story and see where it goes. But hey, if you want to watch along with me, this is the perfect time. Or just want someone to watch with because I'm literally just starting out with Titans. Last is the Marvel TV shows. I know. I just kind of went on a rant about that. But I really enjoyed watching Loki, especially if you're a big fan of Doctor Who. I think you're going to enjoy watching Loki. The only thing that's a little weird to me, and I'm sure a lot of Marvel fans probably feel the same way, is that Loki slightly diminishes a lot of the stuff that happens. Like, for example, I apologize, they're interchangeable movie titles, because I think it's Endgame, right? Endgame is like the big, it's like the final movie, right? Where like they all come. Okay, sorry, it's Marvel spoilers. Pretty sure it's Endgame, because there's like the one right before it that's called something also very dramatic, before Avengers something, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, they can both be like interchangeably like both. Anyways, but I'm pretty sure it's Endgame. Endgame's the one where like they all come back and they're like, oh my gosh, what is this? And you know, so and when you watch Loki, it's not as important anymore, because again, it seems a, you know, you have to watch Loki for me to explain what's going on, because it deals with the big larger concept of time in general, and how in reality, like the characters, like who, like Tony's death, like was so impactful that you now it's even less than what destiny is or anything like that. Like he kind of like, there's no choice in it. It was part of this, like the time, like it had to happen, and it was just like they're all severely controlled, and that if they deviate from the master plan, they get punished. So it's like this really interesting like circle of events that happens. Loki's very, again, if you like Doctor Who, I think you'll enjoy this, but at the same time it's very frustrating if you like the, like everything that's kind of happening with Marvel, but at the same time they also need room to grow. So like I understand if you don't like Loki, like I don't blame you, because even I'm kind of like, but Endgame was really cool. What? So that's just a little bit about Loki without spoiling too much. And then finally, WandaVision. WandaVision for me takes the cake out of all the shows that I've watched. I loved everything about WandaVision. I included the first episode, which is a very like 1960s style TV. I love like watching I Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched. So when I saw that episode, I was like, this is a very random episode for Marvel, like a very random show for Marvel when I first watched the first episode. But then of course like it starts developing a little bit more, like it grows. So like if you watch the first episode and aren't convinced, continue watching WandaVision. It keeps growing. And it develops the storyline. It's a very kind of a slow burn, but then it goes poof, like really fast, because I think like only 9 to 10 episodes that first season. I don't know if they will continue the season of Wanda. I don't know if they're gonna, because I would love to see more Wanda. Like I truly believe Scarlet Witch now needs like a whole in-depth TV show. Like it would be so cool to have that. I loved her character. I'm not falling in love with the Scarlet Witch. When I first watched the Avengers and following along, I didn't really care for her. I was just like, whatever. Like she just was a very blasé, right? But this show made you feel for her in all the aspects, understand her pain, her suffering, and makes you care deeply about not just her pain, but also the minor characters of like the Marvel universe. And it's a brilliant way to grow the Marvel universe, because especially since they're deviating from like the original Avengers, which are Black Widow, the Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America. I'm missing someone right now. Well, Hawkeye technically is still in the Avengers. He's still kind of doing. He has a show now. I have not watched that show yet. I don't know. It's just, like, so for example, like the Winter Soldier and Hawkeye just haven't really caught my attention enough for me to be like, oh my god, like I really want to see it. Loki and WandaVision were very different. They totally captivated me, want me to watch it. I also want to watch What If. I haven't seen it yet, but I will. But yes, that's pretty much my reviews of all like the shows and what I think you guys would love, and just hopefully will join me in my quest to kind of grow this fandom that I have. Also, let me know if you guys want me to expand on any of the shows I have mentioned in this video. Could definitely do a deep dive on everything and just tell you a little bit more. I just didn't want to spoil it too much. I want to give you guys just a little bit of a taste of everything and just make you guys intrigued enough to follow along with me. Alright guys, as always, thank you for watching Resident Evil Girl channel. Leave a comment down below if any other types of movies sorry, not movies, but any types of videos you want me to create. And have a good week. Bye!